Hello. Good morning, friends. Today on Evidentia Answers, we're going to be looking at reference citations. So glad you could make it, and let's get started. One of the little-known features of Evidentia is a category of citations which we call reference citations. And these are citations for records that may not apply to any single person, but something you may want to reference in your analysis or in your conclusion. And we're going to demo that today. What I want to do with these live streams is to start answering questions. A lot of times in the posts, you as a Evidentia user may ask a question about the software, may ask a question about a feature of the software, and it's actually faster and probably more efficient if I answer these questions through the use of a video live stream than just trying to hash things out. The other advantage is that it allows me to actually do a live demonstration, and that's what I'm going to do today. So Barbara Zanzig asked a few weeks ago, she said, "I'd like to know how people handle auxiliary information in a proof in Evidentia. I have one that depends in part on parish dates in Quebec. Boundary changes, essentially. It's indirect evidence, but relevant to several people, and understanding the cultural background is essential to understanding the proof." Ideas? And there were a couple of good answers on the Facebook post, but what I want to show today is reference citations, which is exactly what Barbara's talking about today. So to give you an example, what's a reference citation? So she's talking about how boundaries changed for parishes in Quebec. Other examples would be when did a certain city get established? Or when did a county get cut up into smaller counties? Because this could be indicative of where you might find records, where those records originally resided, where they currently reside. Another example, and this is the one that I'm going to try and demonstrate today, is information about specific census records. So let's go to the demo. So far, so good. Let's go to Analyze Evidence. Okay. And I'm going to select my good old roadblock David because I've got some data for him. And the claim type I'm going to look at is birth. And let me minimize this evidence. So what I want to show here is, let's look at this very first analysis. And I'm going to open it up in the pop-up so it'll be a little bit larger. The second line says, if, as instructed, the enumerators ask their questions as of the enumeration date. The implication is that David was over 45 on August 6, 1810. It can be derived that he must have been born before August 7, 1765. Now, I've referenced some information here that is not necessarily common knowledge, which is that the enumeration date of this is the 1810 census, is that the enumeration date of the 1810 census is August 6th, 1810. That's not common knowledge. If I generate a proof from this, and I need to move that over to the other screen. All right, so here is how that reference appears in a proof report. One of the things I want to know, so let's look at this. The first footnote is just referencing the claim that we made, and then the second footnote is for the 1820 census. So I've got one for 1810 and one for 1820. And you'll see in a moment why I called that out. All right, let's go back into the pop-up editor. And I want to draw your attention to this last option here, the double cross or the cross of Lorraine. And if you hover over it, you'll say Insert Reference Citation. Well, what is that? If instructed, the enumerators ask their questions as of the enumeration date. So right after that, I want to insert a reference citation. So I place my cursor there and click on the double cross. And you'll see this brings us into a new screen. I can filter my reference. I can select a proof if I want to reference a proof, which another proof that I've already written, which I'm not doing here. What I want to look at is the 1810 U.S. Census enumeration date. And this is a reference citation that Evidentia has preloaded. When I select that, and then it's important I need to select the citation because there could be more than one. And you'll see here a preview on the left-hand side of what this reference citation is. It's important here, yesterday when I was doing a dry run of this, I selected done and nothing happened, and I did it again and nothing happened. You want to select the insert citation. And now you'll see that in the place where the cursor is, that there is a cross, little double cross there. And if I hover over that double cross, the tooltip pops up and it actually shows me the citation. So I'm going to click done. And now when I'm back in this box, this edit box, you'll see this double cross is here as well. And if I hover over it again, you'll see, ta-da, I've got this reference citation. So how does that show up in a proof? I'm going to regenerate the proof report. And now you should see, right. So now before, where reference citation 1 was for the 1810 citation, and reference citation 2 was for the 1820. Now reference citation 3 is for the 1820 because in the middle of this we've inserted a new citation. And when I click on that, you'll see that this is a reference to a website that gives me information about the 1810 census, including what the enumeration date was. Wherever you put these reference citations, Evidentia, when you generate reports, will dynamically insert the citation in the correct location, even though it doesn't show you the number that it's going to use, and it'll fall right into place. Now let's go back and look at what some of the options are for reference citations. So let's go to the second one, and I'm just going to pick one here. So you've got several options here. You can, let's say that you've already written a proof that proves some point that you're referencing here in the analysis. So, according to the proof, so-and-so was married on a certain date. Not relevant to this, but this is just an example. So I can choose select proof, and this will show me a drop-down list of all the proofs that I have already used. Let me just pick one. What Evidentia here is done here is it's pulled in the citation title, the proof title itself, and it's dynamically created a citation listing for that proof. Notice that it says privately held by Evidentia. If you have author name in the report section, I believe it'll insert your name here, and I can insert that, and just like any other citation, that will be included in my reports. I'm going to exit that. It's probably already in there. Yeah, it's already in there. So let me show you one more thing. Where do these reference citations come from? If I go to my list manager, you will see subjects, claim types, sources, and there's one field here called references. The reference citations that are included with Evidentia here are referenced in the source list just like any other citation, except these are special case citations to get a special flag. You'll notice that there is a problem here, and I'm not quite sure if it's with my data set or if it's a bug in the program. I will look into that. I have several times. You'll see that these things are listed twice, which can be a little bit of a pain. But basically, any reference citation will appear in this list, and you can choose it just like you were choosing a source on the Identify Source screen. You do that, it shows you all the citations. But you can also go over here and create a new citation. So If you have a source that you frequently reference, for instance, the Quebec parish boundary maps that you want to reference, you would simply input your source title and a source listing here. And again, you can use templates like you would for any other source citation. You would enter your data here, you would enter your citation listing data here, or you would use the template. You can have attachments just like you would for any other source. And then once you've entered it, it would appear here on the list. And then when you go back to go to his birth again, why not? When you go into this field and select this, your reference citation will be included in this selection list. Now, reference citations can be used in two places. Number one, you can use it in your analysis. And number two, and this may be more where you want to use it than anywhere else, it's also when you're using the pop-up editor, it's available to you in the pop-up editor for conclusion summaries. All right. I want to thank all of you for attending and appreciate your patience. And I look forward to seeing you as I do more of these Evidentia Answers live streams in the future. Have a good day.